gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome all of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This, of course, is the Lightning Flash update for January 26th, 2018. We are just one day away from NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and 2 days away from the annual Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, I got a lot to go over, including the story that broke, actually, on the day of Raw 25. And there's a lot of information to go into the story. As you know, it's about Enzo Amore. So, Raw 25, let me tell you something. I was excited. I was excited for Raw 25. I really was. I'm not going to lie to you. I was excited for Raw 25. And then all of a sudden, everything just fell apart. After that opening segment, apart from the opening segment and the Miz versus Roman Reigns match, everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. There was not one single thing that I genuinely cared about other than the Miz and Roman Reigns and the opening segment. You had Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross at the Manhattan Center. Then they cut to Brooklyn. Shane and Stephanie, they kick off the show. They show a promo package of Raw's best moments. Vince McMahon came out. They presented Vince McMahon with a plaque for 25 years of Raw. He said it feels cheap. He basically said, I don't need anyone else but myself. And boom, Stone Cold returns to one of the greatest pops you will ever hear from in the modern era. It's not even a modern era guy. He returned, he stunned Shane and Vince, and that was basically it. He didn't say a word. That man didn't say a word. All he did was hit the stunner on Shane twice, and he hit a stunner on Vince once, and he chugged some beer. That was it. That's all he did. Nobody else on the main roster, other than NXT, gets that type of ovation. NXT is the only modern-day WWE place where wrestlers that actually are employed full-time get pops like Stone Cold. That and Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. That was the best segment of the show. Then we had Bayley, Asuka, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks defeat Nia Jax, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Alicia Fox, who gave a fuck. I know I didn't. Asuka then attacked and then eliminated everyone. So Asuka got momentum en route to the Women's Royal Rumble. Good for Asuka. Then in the back, Coach returned, the Brooklyn Brawler, Brother Love, Teddy Long, and then the Boogeyman. That was basically a nostalgia segment. The Undertaker cut a promo, and I don't even know what he meant by this promo. I'm guessing that it has something to do with John Cena. And I'm not really sure. It was very, very confusing. Supposedly, there's reports going around that the Undertaker got a little lost during his promo. But I'm assuming that the Undertaker is going to be in the Royal Rumble match, and he's going to start a program with John Cena going into WrestleMania. There's no other explanation for it. He was there. He's not retired. That wasn't really a retirement speech. Didn't sound like it, at least. Then we had The Miz versus Roman Reigns. This was actually a great match, and I commend both men for having a great match, but the wrong man won. And I know what you're thinking right now. I know exactly what you're thinking after I just stated that. The wrong man won. Is this DJ Storms? Has DJ Storms been abducted? Is DJ Storms in a secluded area with a gun to his head saying that? No. No. The wrong man won. Why? I'll explain to you why. The Miz, as you know, I'm not a fan of The Miz, but I really commend The Miz for his work. I just don't want him to continue his work in the Intercontinental Championship title scene because I feel as though he's holding the Intercontinental Championship back from being held by other guys. Other guys that are young, that are up and coming, that can really bring some prestige. Miz is not the only one that can bring prestige to the Intercontinental Championship, okay? For those of you that saying Miz can bring prestige to the Intercontinental Championship and no one else can, get that thought out of your damn head. Miz should not have won. Roman Reigns should have won, and he should have continued the open challenge and dropped the title to Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber. And then he can win the Elimination Chamber and go on to face Lesnar, since we all know Roman's riding the Vince McMahon dick train to WrestleMania, as I've been stating for weeks now. Supposedly, this is what I'm hearing, supposedly, per the Observer, The Miz is scheduled to get a major push and go into an Intercontinental title program with Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman is going to be your new Intercontinental Champion. I want to see that. But why does it have to be The Miz? Why can't Balor get a championship? What are you going to do with Finn Balor? You going to put him in there with Triple H? Balor is like non-existent. I don't get it. It was a great match. But Roman Reigns should have never lost the title. And now, you know what WWE is capable of. They could have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble. Again! In the same city in which they fucked Daniel Bryan over. I am shaking in my boots. I'm not even lying. And I'm not even wearing boots. I'm wearing sneakers. Miz defeated Roman by Miz sidestepping a spear. Roman went face first into an exposed middle turnbuckle, which Miz took off mid-match. And then the Miz hit a second skull-crushing finale. Miz is your new champion. I don't give a fuck. Get the title off of the Miz ASAP. The Peep Show was hosted by Christian with Jordan and Rollins. The most significant part about this segment was the bar interrupted, and Jason held Cesaro back as Rollins was going for the springboard high knee. Rollins missed and hit Jordan. So obviously that's gonna start the tension. The tension should stem all the way into the Elimination Chamber when Rollins and Jordan lose the titles to Gallows and Anderson. That's how things should be played out. Don't know if they're going to do that because WWE is run by a bunch of retards, but, you know, great show. It's a great show. And yet, some people wonder why I wear New Japan shirts, why I got these New Japan shirts. Then we had Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. Wyatt actually won a match, and that was basically that. WWE introduced some of the women's stars. Since when are the Bella Twins stars? Since when are the Bella Twins part of the legendary status of females? Michelle McCool, I get it. Jacqueline, I get it. Trish Stratus, absolutely. But Nikki and Brie Bella, what have they done? Brie and Nikki Bella have only rose to fame because of Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Nikki Bella is only who she is, and she is only the longest reigning Divas champion in history because of John Cena, and no one will be able to convince me otherwise. Jericho put Elias on the list. This was the second best segment of the night. Elias then sang to Jimmy Fallon. Cena interrupted, and Cena got hit with a low blow on a guitar. Titus Worldwide versus Heath Slater and Rhino was interrupted by the Dudleys. Slater gets put to a table. They had a DX reunion, and then the Balor Club defeated the Revival, and the Revival got buried. How much money did Vince McMahon pay Triple H to pedigree Dash Wilder? I sure as hell didn't care. And then Braun Strowman, Kane, and Brock Lesnar had a segment in which Braun Strowman stood tall by power slamming Brock Lesnar through a table. Yeah, great show for Raw 25. SmackDown was actually a decent show. Owens and Zayn kicked off the show. AJ Styles came out and said that they will not win. Owens and Zayn basically gloated Styles into having back-to-back matches with them in the same night. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan had a segment backstage in which Shane basically stated, "I'm questioning you." He basically indirectly told Bryan, "I'm basically questioning you as a person." So this is going to sink in quite nicely, and I hope to God they clear Daniel Bryan, and I hope to God it leads to Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon, because that match could very well be the match of the night, apart if they do Styles and Nakamura at WrestleMania. Chad Gable defeated Jey Uso. This was actually a decent match. I already know Chad Gable is a main event star. He's proving he's a main event star. He's proven he can go with the likes of Styles and Rusev, the Usos as well, and he won with the O'Connor Roll German Suplex. Benjamin and Gable, they need to win the tag team titles. I'm sorry. They need to win the tag team titles. I love the Usos, and I love everything that the Usos have been made out to be, but now it's time for someone else. It's time for someone else. Benjamin and Gable, I feel as though they've been given the short end of the stick. Then we had Naomi defeating Liv Morgan. That was basically that. The women had a brawl. No one really cared about that. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin actually turned into a good match. I was actually enjoying their match. And Randy Orton with probably one of the best RKOs since Rollins. Probably the best RKO since Rollins. Nakamura was going for the Kinshasa. And as Nakamura was running, Orton came out of nowhere and hit a picture-perfect RKO. And he just glided through the air and hit the RKO on Nakamura. Then he hit the RKO on Corbin, and he stood tall. Obviously, this is building tensions toward the Royal Rumble this Sunday. Ty Dillinger and the New Day announced that they are going to be in the Rumble. New Day and Bobby Roode defeated Jinder Mahal and Rusev Day. Why are they continuing to kill Rusev Day? Why? Rusev in English should be going into a tag team title match at WrestleMania. They should be being built up. Rusev Day should be facing Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin at WrestleMania. That would be a perfect SmackDown Live tag team title match at WrestleMania. Benjamin and Gable's heel work has been outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And yes, they are heels. The Usos are baby faces, whether you want to admit it or not. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin should win the tag titles from the Usos. Then it should go to Rusev Day at WrestleMania. Then the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam. And all the while, Sanity is being built up to take the titles off the Bludgeon Brothers at the end of 2018. Pay me! Main event. Well, dual main event, I should say. Styles defeated Kevin Owens in quick fashion, and the reason why he did this is because Owens is currently working through an injury, which I will talk about in my news, rumors, and reports section. Sami Zayn attacked Styles before the match, and then Sami Zayn had a great match with AJ Styles. These two, without a doubt, put on even a better match than the match that they did on Monday Night Raw back in April of 2016. Styles and Zayn tore the house down, and the right man won. Sami Zayn defeated Styles with a haluva kick and a blue thunder bomb combination, which looked absolutely glorious. Even more glorious than Bobby Roode, I might say. Sami Zayn gets the momentum for him and Kevin Owens en route to their handicap match for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. Styles will win, though. On to 205 Live, and 205 Live, surprisingly, it was the best show of the week outside of NXT. 205 Live, I like that they're actually starting to put some effort into 205 Live. That's all you need to do. They're starting to put a lot more effort into 205 Live than they were a year ago. Bryan addressed the Enzo situation, and he said that a 205 Live manager will be named next week. Supposedly, it's going to be someone from the past that's going to be returning. We had Lince Dorado. Finally, Lince Dorado. Man, Lince Dorado is a very underrated competitor on 205 Live. I want to see him more. I want to see him in a rematch with Mustafa Ali from the Cruiserweight Classic. That's what I want to see. So Lince Dorado, Gran Metalik, and Kalisto defeated Tony Nese, TJP, and Arya Daivari. This was a very fun match. We had Kalisto and Gran Metalik taking out Tony Nese and Arya Daivari on the outside. Dorado went for the shooting star. TJP countered. Dorado then shoved TJP into Tony Nese and hit a beautiful back handspring stunner for the win. This was a very fun match. I want to see more of Lince Dorado. I would like to see a match with Lince Dorado and TJP down the line. That would be a pretty good one. Then one of my top 3 favorite cruiserweights on 205 Live, Gulick, for a better 205 Live, was petitioning to be the 205 Live manager. And I thought that was hilarious, by the way. I love Drew Gulick. Well, why not give the title to Cedric and then have Cedric drop it to Gulick? That way Gulick could be the hilarious heel. Then you have a repeat between Gulick and Mustafa. That match right there. I always said that Gulick and Mustafa was one of the best 205 Live matches in history. 2 out of 3 falls match went 21 minutes on the July 18th episode. Why not relive that? Let's relive that. Give those guys 20 minutes on another 205 Live for the Cruiserweight Championship. That would be great. Hideo Itami then defeated Jack Gallagher. That was a decent match, and that basically did what it needed to do. They're biding Hideo's time. They are keeping him undefeated, which is a very good decision. He's got a new finisher. It's kind of like a rolling cutter into a detonation kick, I want to say. Gallagher sold it like a boss, by the way. I would like to see more sells like that. But this basically just did what it needed to do. Hideo Itami with the win. Straightforward and to the point. That was basically that. And then in the main event, let me tell you something. Mustafa Ali, I said, was the AJ Styles of 205 Live. Cedric Alexander is without a doubt the most deserving competitor to be Cruiserweight Champion. I knew we were going to get a match between Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander down the line. I just didn't know when. I just didn't know when. And I actually pitched the idea of having a Battle Royal on 205 Live and having the winner go on to face Cedric for the #1 Contenders opportunity at the Cruiserweight title. And I predicted it was going to be Mustafa. But they flipped the script and they had Mustafa and Cedric on a Tuesday. And boy, oh boy, it was a phenomenal match. And by God, this is not going to be a one-time thing. If WWE does not place these two in a Cruiserweight Championship match in the future, WWE is doing something wrong. This match was absolutely outstanding. You had Cedric Alexander doing slingshot flatliners. You had Mustafa Ali doing standing tornado DDTs. You had Cedric doing Queen's Crossing, that fall-away moonsault Spanish fly, and the right man won. Cedric Alexander only continues to win, and he only continues to impress. He won with a brutal lumbar check, and in the end, they shake hands. And they actually tweeted something. They tweeted, "Build the empire from the ground up." You know something? The 205 Live Tour, it was said to be a success. Congrats on the 205 Live competitors. Congratulations to Mustafa, and congratulations to Cedric. I want to see more of this. And I can't wait to see what they do with 205 Live in the future. Can't wait to see who the new general manager is. Now on to NXT. This was the go-home show for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Velveteen Dream had an amazing promo. Velveteen Dream with the lighting and the purple smoke, just claiming that Johnny Gargano's dreams will be dashed by yours truly. They really gotta get a mid-card title on NXT. Put Velveteen Dream, guys like Ono, No Way Jose, even more Strong, Sullivan. Put those types of guys in the mid-card title scene. I'd love to see that. No Way Jose, he defeated Cesar Bononi. That basically did what it needed to do. No Way Jose, obviously, he's still having fun with the crowd. I like No Way Jose. I like getting down with No Way Jose. Bianca Belair. Finally, she had a singles match on NXT. I've been waiting to see Bianca Belair. I can see Bianca Belair challenging for the NXT Women's Championship against the likes of Kairi Sane by maybe the end of the year. Maybe the end of the year. She basically defeated a jobber with an alley-oop facebuster. I believe Jeff Hardy used to use that move, if I'm not mistaken. Then we had a sit-down interview with Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. The tensions are high, ladies and gentlemen. The tensions are high. We had Ember Moon basically state that being NXT Women's Champion comes with responsibilities. Shayna Baszler, you're nothing more than a bully. Shayna Baszler just saying sometimes you gotta stir up the water if you want to catch some fish. And Ember Moon, you're the biggest fish in the pond. That's why I'm going straight for you. Shayna Baszler basically stated, I don't care how I got here. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. They just better get used to me. And that was basically that. So, Baszler and Ember Moon. And if you missed my rundown for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, I strongly suggest you check that out. It's on the channel right now. I posted it yesterday on Thursday. So if you want to go back and check that out, you can do that. If you want to give this video a pause. Next, we had another Who Are TM61, and they announced that they will be returning next week in Philadelphia. So you know Philadelphia is going to be hot for TM61. Then, the Authors of Pain destroyed some jobbers. They took the microphone and they cut a promo basically stating that, we destroyed everyone in our paths. Undisputed Era, it's your turn. Should be a very good match. It should be a little hidden gem. I don't know how Authors of Pain will favor against Undisputed Era, but they had a great match with Sanity at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, so anything is possible. Nikki Cross versus Lacey Evans will also take place next week. And in the main event of NXT, my God, please give me this match again in the future. Why not put Velveteen Dream in the NXT Championship picture? Why not have him versus Gargano for the NXT Championship down the line? Because this match was great. This and the Cedric Mustafa match are my top 2 matches of the week. And Johnny Gargano basically put everything that he had into this match against Velveteen Dream and vice versa. Velveteen Dream with lariats, just clubbing blows to Gargano, a Death Valley driver off the top. Gargano with super kicks. He was caught in the slingshot spear. And then he hit the super kick near the end, and then he locked Velveteen Dream in the Gargano escape. And I don't know if you noticed, but he was pulling back. He was wrenching, and you could see in his eyes. You could see in Gargano's eyes, this is a newfound intensity from Johnny Gargano, and that's what I love about NXT. They put everything that they have into even the littlest things, and they did the same thing with Johnny Gargano. After the match, Almas actually came out with Vega, attacked Johnny Gargano, but Gargano fought back, hit the slingshot DDT, and then rose the NXT Championship high above his head. My God, Saturday can't come any sooner. Let me tell you, Saturday just can't come any sooner. But anyway, let's move on to the news, rumors, and reports. I got some news on Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne could possibly be making an appearance at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view because Britannia, Britannia Wrestling Promotions announced that Pete Dunne has been pulled from their Royal Rumble weekend event. This could possibly hint that he might be in the Royal Rumble, or possibly at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Can you imagine if Pete Dunne shows up at the Rumble? Could you imagine the damage that Pete Dunne could do if he shows up at the Rumble? I'm getting chills just thinking about it already. Let me tell you something. We got TakeOver on Saturday, and if Pete Dunne shows up at the Rumble, my God, that's a double whammy for you. I got some news from Dave Meltzer. I got some news on Elias and John Cena. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE is currently setting up for Cena versus Elias, since Samoa Joe will be out for a while. As you know, the original plans were to have Samoa Joe and John Cena go into a feud, possibly at WrestleMania. So, obviously, they need a bridge towards Cena's feud with The Undertaker, which most likely will be happening. I got some news from Cage Side Seats. Cage Side Seats reports that Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan are definitely heading towards a match at WrestleMania 34. This match will do Jason Jordan wonders. This match, when Jason Jordan goes full heel, this match will put Jason Jordan on the map. And who knows, he could possibly be a great heel Intercontinental Champion in the future. Maybe even a world champion if they want to go all in with him. But you put him in a match with one of the best in the game on Monday Night Raw in Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, it's got all the makings of an instant classic. And that could be one of the matches at WrestleMania that is going to, be the match that not many people care about, but it ends up going, it's going to end up being one of the best matches of the night. Mark my words. I got a report by Mike Johnson of PW Insider. He is reporting that Kevin Owens is currently working through a back injury. Kevin Owens is currently working through a back injury, and he has been pulled off the live events for SmackDown Live this month, and is expected to be good to go for the Rumble. That's a smart decision by WWE. You want to keep Kevin Owens fresh. You want to let Kevin Owens recuperate. So I commend WWE for that. And I got some news from Mr. Slice Wrestling. Go follow him at Slice Wrestling, of course. And I quote, he sent this tweet out, Dolph Ziggler is expected back to WWE programming shortly. My call is he's going to be at the Royal Rumble, but we're going to see what happens there. Finally, let's talk about Enzo Amore. Let's talk about Enzo Amore to end the Lightning Flash update before the Royal Rumble. Enzo Amore, he was suspended and fired all in a matter of 24 hours. The reason was because a woman from Arizona, I believe, claimed that Enzo raped her. Enzo has been accused of sexual assault by a girl from Arizona, and I believe this is the girl that he cheated on with Liv Morgan. He cheated on Liv Morgan with this girl. So, Enzo, apparently, he did not tell WWE about this. PW Insider reported that the claims from the woman who claimed Enzo raped her came back all the way in October of 2017. And because of this, Enzo Amore did not make WWE aware. I don't know why. That should be number one on your list. My guess is because he lost sight of what was important. There was no problems happening down in NXT or when he first got up to the main roster. And then all of a sudden, by mid-2017, all of this shit starts coming out. Enzo Amore has lost sight of what is really important. He lost sight of what was important, and he lost all the care in the world for his job. And that's something that I really don't like about the superstars who make it big time, who become famous. They lose sight of what is really important. And let me tell you something. I'm not sure if this is 100% true, mainly because of the fact that there was some claims of a friend of the accuser that sent out some text messages saying that this girl who claims that Enzo sexually assaulted her, she was bragging to her friend about being in bed with a WWE superstar. So my guess is she's just doing this to get the notoriety. She's basically just doing this to get her name out there. WWE was basically never made aware of the situation. That is why Enzo was fired. My guess is because they just want Enzo to clear this whole thing up. Enzo actually sent out a tweet of, I think it was like a card or a contract, something like that, and it basically stated what his lawyer basically said about the entire issue, and they will not be making any more public statements. I assume that this is kind of another Roman Reigns steroid accusation scandal. Roman Reigns, we all know, is not on steroids. He will never be on steroids because, number one, he said he's passed 11 tests, and he learned from his lesson back in 2016. Enzo, he's annoying. He's stupid. He can be an asshole. But from what is currently unfolding right now, I'm going to stake claim and say that this is all just a work and the woman is lying. The woman is lying and all she wants is fame and notoriety. That's it. Enzo Amore, let me tell you something. I've enjoyed Enzo's heel work, but I have a feeling that if Enzo is to get his name cleared, I'm afraid that Enzo might make another mistake. Not that he doesn't tell WWE, but he makes a legit mistake. Something like this. Not as serious as this. Not as serious as the fact that, he's being accused of sexual assault or steroid accusations. Not like that. But something else that could jeopardize his career. I have a feeling that WWE just released him to clear his name up, and then they could possibly restate him. I could be wrong. But, that's life. So, but I'm going to stake my claim in saying that Enzo is completely innocent. Enzo had nothing to do with any type of sexual assault, and all the woman wants is notoriety and fame. That's it. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. As always, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the DJ Storms. Do not forget to check out the rundown for the Royal Rumble, which I will be posting on Saturday, tomorrow, sometime around the afternoon. If you missed the rundown for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, go check that out. That is up on the channel. I posted that yesterday. Do not forget to tune into the Lightning Flash Update next week, as always. And I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Thank you for joining me, and you have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow.